Let me explain why this does not mean that the real estate market is going to crash. Even though when this was announced, a lot of people have come out saying this is the beginning of the real estate market crash, because the last time this happened, the real estate market did crash. And they are correct, except two different economies, two different maths. And for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to try to explain why. I don't want to bore you with the mechanics of a bond, but in essence, what I want you to understand about a mortgage bond is the higher the value, the lower the rate. The more people buy the bond, the lower the rate goes. So by them buying more of the mortgage-backed security bond, they drive the rate down. I don't think this alone is going to drop rates, but I understand why they're doing it. So let me explain why these markets are completely different. 2008 was about a bailout. Today, it's about monetary policy. Two completely different things. What caused the 2008 and 9 market crash was that these mortgage-backed securities were subprime loans, 80-20 loans. No doc, low income. You could buy 5 at one time. Teaser rates that reset 2 years later, so they went up. Borrowers should have never been qualified. Buyers were buying 5 houses at one time. Unsustainable. Today, everything's fully underwritten. Everything. You have to have the ability to repay it back. Everything's almost a fixed rate. Almost no variable loans are done. And mostly are owner occupied. Back then, a lot of those were rentals. Why the government was buying these securities back in 2008 was because they were trying to rescue the market. The system was already collapsing. Banks were going out of business. There was no liquidity in the market. And the values of these bonds were imploding because they were crap. Today, it is a preventive monetary policy with the hope of lowering rates, improve liquidity, and more importantly, stabilize housing affordability. They want more people to be able to buy. That is the ultimate goal. Today, it's about rate management. 2008 was about a bailout. Let's talk about risk. In 2008-9, everything was hidden, mispriced. Wall Street repackaged all these loans with good loans, and pretty much you didn't know what you were getting, hence why so many of them failed. Today, the risk is very transparent. Loans are standardized. There's a lot of stress tests, and banks are definitely capitalized. So back then, the risk was unknown and hidden. Today, it is very transparent. In 2008, there was massive overbuilding. Everybody was a speculator. Everybody was going to buy and flip. It was artificial demand. It wasn't real. There was too many homes chasing buyers, hence why buyers could buy 5 houses at one time. Today, we have a chronic housing shortage. I think we all can agree. We've been underbuilding for almost 2 decades since the 2008-9 market crash. Demand exists at high rates, but lending is still difficult to get because you got to qualify. 2008, prices fell because supply overwhelmed demand. Today, prices are supported because we don't have enough supply. In 2008 and 9, there was extreme leverage. I didn't have to put $1 down to buy the house. That's where the 80-20 loans came from. The financial institutions, the banks that were lending, were leveraged 30 to 40 times what they had. There was very thin margins. Today, much lower leverage. You got to put money down to buy a house now. So you have to have capital. There's stress tests for the banks, and everything is very conservative. Bottom line is this. 2008 was about hiding risk. Today, it's about managing rates. And that's why it's 2 different economies and 2 different maths. So this is really an attempt to lower the rate, regardless of your political affiliation and how you feel about the current administration. If you just look at the facts, the goal is to lower rates. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise.